We started in May of 2008.
Launched in a down market, got outside of the GTA.
Within the first year, we had, I think, somewhere around 65 agents. By year two, we were at 122 agents. Organically, we didn't solicit anybody. We didn't do a drip campaign. We didn't call any agents. If there's a couple of sauces that are secret, the secret sauce is always helping. Our focus is on retention. Let's focus on the people that have entrusted their careers with you. Deliver more than what you bargained for.
They say your brand is what people say about you when you're not on the road. So,
Great.
Costa, welcome to the myBlueprint podcast. We're happy to have you here.
Alex, pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. I think on today's episode, I know obviously the Aurea concert is in town, basically a concert vibes. Anyways, the Aurea event is happening here, and we're very happy to have you in from all the way from London, which is awesome. You guys, Costa runs Street City and is the owner broker of record at Street City. And has built that up to 157 agents. Launched in a down market, has a great presence in a B or secondary market outside of the GTA. We're very, very happy to have you in here. Teach us a little bit about your experience, compliance, huge topic these days, and ultimately how to be a big fish in a secondary market.
Great topics. I think all of them are good topics, and we can peel them off one by one, and you tell me where do you want me to start, and you want me to give a little background?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, well, I actually got licensed or registered in Ontario. We're registrants. We're not licensees, so we're registrants. My registration with the regulators started in 1987, so it's been 38 years.
Yeah.
This is actually my first real, I'm going to say I'm one of the 6%ers in the industry or in the profession. I call it a profession because I think industry is kind of like the auto manufacturing. We're a profession. We always talk about being professionals,
Yeah.
and yet we call ourselves we're a profession. We're not like
Yeah.
lawyers. They're professionals. So,
100%.
so I've been in the profession now for 38 years. One of the 6%ers, what that means is it's my first real career. See, in our profession, a lot of realtors come from this is their second career or third career. They get a retirement somewhere else, and they think, hey, I'm going to try real estate. Well, I'm one of those 6%ers where right out of the get-go, I wanted to be a realtor, and you know what? It's been a great ride, and still a lot to contribute. And yeah, so you mentioned that I started our brokerage in 2008. It was the recession. If those of you that have been around long enough, do you remember the housing crisis in the U.S. in 2008? Well, we started in May of 2008. So prior to the brokerage, my wife and partner and I were top agents at two different brokerages that we were at. Out of 250 agents, we were the number one partnership team, no assistants. We would transact anywhere from 80 transactions on the lowest to 122.
Wow, nice.
Good market, bad, good market, bad. Those numbers were consistent. I'm not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon
Still
you
impressed.
to impress upon you and people listening that good market or bad, people are selling.
Yeah.
People are buying. And that's where you need to peel back the onion a little bit and drill down and say, okay, where do I need to focus my attention? So yeah, 2008, we started the brokerage. You mentioned that I was the broker owner. I was the broker owner. I am the broker of record. Now I'm part of the Real Service family and really happy to be part of it as our partners. And so it's taken on in the 6 months that we've been part of the Street City or Real Service family. Major, you know, when you're culturally aligned with partners, that's what we feel. We're definitely culturally aligned. We have the same philosophical outlook on how to treat people and where this profession is heading and how to get there. So really happy to be part of the family.
Absolutely. That's very exciting. You mentioned that you were a top producer before and you grew that to become a broker owner over time. I think that's a path that a lot of broker owners take. You start as a producer and then you get pretty good at the business and decide, you know, this business under this brokerage that I'm at, you know, makes a lot of sense. I can have a go at this. And then you open up your own shop and you come at it with the perspective of a realtor and a high producing realtor and begin to add on the pieces of a great team, great compliance folks, great management folks, great salespeople to ultimately win in the industry and do that. And that's something that I think happens probably from the folks that I talk to. I would say 80% come from that lens or that angle.
You know, Alex, you nailed it. It's like you assemble the right components and the right team, because this is not a me, I. It's definitely a team environment, and the successful brokerages are the ones that recognize the talent that they bring in, and that they actually encourage and embrace and assist people within the organization, identify them, and work collaboratively as a team to get to the next level of where you want to go. And so, when we started, for people that sometimes the top producing agents and the really amazing realtors that are out in the trenches are not necessarily good administrators. And so I often aren't. And so, I'll give you a little bit of a background. When we thought of opening up a brokerage, it was just a conversation my wife, Mary Johnson, and I were having. By the way, her last name is Johnson. She wouldn't take my last name. She thought it was too hard as Poulopoulos, but anyway, that's a sidebar. So, we went and we met somebody. It was at a RIA conference in Toronto, and somebody had said, hey, if you're thinking of opening up this brand in the London market, we'd love to talk to you. And I thought, you know what? My philosophical outlook in life is, from the day you're born until the day you die, open as many doors as you can. You don't have to go through them all, but try not to close any.
Yeah, of course.
You know that the door's open. You never know, you might need to go through it.
Yeah.
I have a partner, my wife, who not only goes through the door, she starts decorating things in there. And it
Makes it look good.
Scares the crap out of me, to be quite honest with you. And so she, we have this meeting, and she's telling me, oh, we're out, we had a 3-day conference, we got to get back, we have sales, we got this, we're running sellers, our clients are looking for us. So we meet and so on the way back, on the drive back to London from Toronto, I said, oh, it was interesting to listen. And she said, what are you talking about? It's a no-brainer. We should do this. Now, again, May 2008. And so recession, and I was terrified. I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? I mean, I know we can, if you average the commission back in the day, in 2008 or wherever, anywhere from what we were making on a sale based on real estate values in London, anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000. You do the math. It was a nice salary. It was a nice commission base as top producers. And so back at that time, I'm thinking, like, I don't want to do this. And the way she pacified me was, look, we can do a lease. We can do this. We're going to save the broker. Let's just figure this out. We can make this happen. So she brought it down, and we started organically. This is my point is, I don't want people thinking, oh, you have to go out and merge or buy somebody. If you're a broker, and we started organically. Mary and I, 2 people. Within the first year, we had, I think, somewhere around 65 agents organically. Wow. We just said we're open for business. Agents started coming, and you think, well, how is that possible? And so I'm going to give you one of the secret sauces. If there's a couple of sauces that are secret, the secret sauce is if you do business and conduct business with an attitude of always helping. And so our whole career, if you were in our brokerage at the time and you were looking for the broker of record and they were never around, we weren't management, and you'd be panic stricken and say, oh my God, do you know where the broker is? And we'd say, what's wrong, Alex? So I'm trying to do this duplex and I can't figure out these clauses and I don't know what to do. I would say, well, come on in here. Let's talk about this. Here are the clauses you need to use, and this is why. And we would spend 15, 20 minutes with you. Then we wouldn't see you for 2 weeks. You'd come back and you'd say, oh my God, I got that deal. I have to ask you, why did you spend 20 minutes, 6 o'clock at night on the way out of the office to help me out? And our whole mentality is, and we share with you, say, well, Alex, you know what? First of all, it helps elevate all of us because now you've got some really super clauses and you know what you're doing. And if we ever do a deal with you and I'm on the other side of the table, you can at least tell your clients, these are good people.
Right.
They're above board. So having said that, those are the agents that started, we opened up our office, our brokerage, and they started to say, hey, can you tell me about what your brokerage is? And so we grew to that 60 plus in the first year. By year 2, we were at 122 agents organically. We didn't solicit anybody. We didn't do a drip campaign. We didn't call any agents. It's just our agents became our advocates and our cheerleaders. And so what that means is you would do a deal with an agent that was in our brokerage, and either you made the deal or you didn't. If you made it, you'd high five and say, hey, it was great working with you. Or if you didn't, hey, it was really too bad we couldn't put the deal together, but it was nice working with you. Right. Tell me, how is it working over at Costa and Mary's office? And our agents would say, it's probably changed my career. Blah, blah, blah. So I guess what I'm trying to say, so they became our advocates, and they became our mechanism for helping to recruit.
So your recruitment strategy was in effect making champions of the agents that you had, and of not just the agents that you had, but those doors that you were opening along the way became how you actually grew.
Absolutely. And you know what? I remember being on an advisory group for one of the brands that we opened with, the franchise. And they put us on there, and it was a recruiting panel. We were in front of 500 people. We were out in the States. It was an American franchise. And they said, we were bringing in from Canada, Costa and Mary, and we're on stage with 4 other people. Say, the topic was recruiting, because we had gone from 2 to 120 in 18 months. And how do you do it, Mary? And Mary said, oh, we don't recruit. And there was like a hush. The lights are on, everybody's freaking out. And so, okay, what she means is that our focus is on retention.
Yeah.
There's no sense in bringing 2 people in the front door and 4 go out the back door, because all you're focusing on is bringing 2 in the front door all the time. So our secret sauce was focus on the people that have entrusted their careers with you. And if we can deliver more to you, Alex, because you've entrusted your career to join this brokerage, and then we're going to give you the support that you need. We're actually going to deliver more than what you bargained for. When you go out and when you do things, when you're in the trenches in the market, making a deal or not, and people ask you, how is it at Street City? You're going to say, it's changed my career. And so that's how we grew, because our agents were the ones, again, at the time, there was no incentive to have them say that. They felt it, they lived it, and it was an easy bringing people in that were like-minded.
They say your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So
Great. I believe that.
And apparently so, because that's what you guys did. If you're opening a shop, there'd be people that would kill to have 120 agents the second year after launching.
Organically. Without spending money to get them.
That's music to a lot of people's ears, without spending money, but also just having a warm enough brand personally between your wife and yourself, where they're actually coming to you, is a huge thing. And of course, like-minded people attract like-minded people. So
Right.
You're going to have the first few are probably very much like you. And of course, the same, it's a multiplier effect from there.
Yeah, like attracts like. That's the saying, and that's exactly what it is. So yes, that's how we grew. And then the next level is, as you grow and there's growing pains, you need to assemble the right people. The right people in management and leadership. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, Mary and I started this and it was great, but our managers that have joined us, that took us from 50 agents to 120 agents, we had to get one and then another one. They were an integral part of our success.
Yeah.
And we never say, both Mary and I never say I and me. It's always we and us, because we did it together with the people that were part of the Street City, or our brokerage at the time, family. And now we've got, 2 wonderful managers that are with us. And to be honest, we attribute a lot of our success to the fact that they're part of the Street City brokerage. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are. And we recognize that. And there's no egos here. It's like, hey, we involve them in a lot of the decisions and the conversations. And yeah.
And they really have to be they have to be a reflection of you. They have to be a good coach. They say, like, if you think about an Olympian is the best in the world at that thing. If you could be Usain Bolt, still has a coach.
Yes.
So you still need a good collection of coaches to help your Olympians and your agents do better.
100%. You need that. And as you're assembling yourself and engaging yourself, immersing yourself with this great leadership team, we learn from each other. I learn every single day. I might be 38 years in the profession. I'm learning from the person that just started in real estate, just out of the registration courses.
Right.
And I say that, and when we do our interviews and we talk to them, we say, you know what, let's say you were brand new and you're interviewing 5 brokerages, and we happen to be one of the lucky ones, one of the 5. Yeah. At least we're on your list.
Yeah.
We'll actually say, when we have our conversation, it's like, you know what, Alex, this is a really good point. Like, I'll ask a question. What is it that you must have bought real estate, or you've sold, or your parents or something? You say, yeah. Well, do you remember that? What was good about it? What was bad about it? Just curious. Yeah. And it's funny, because you might be new to real estate, but you're not new to life.
Yeah.
You have a lot to offer us as a broker.
Fresh perspective.
It's amazing. And so, you know what? And I learn every day, and our team learns every day, and we incorporate that. That's how you build a culture where you value the people that are coming in. Sure, I might have 38 years of experience in real estate, but you have a lot to bring to the table of your generation, what you're looking for, what your pain points are as a consumer.
Humility and curiosity, really.
Beautiful. Exactly.
Love that. Now, you also spend a lot of time in the regulatory side of the business.
Organized real estate side, yes. Right. And with the regulator, right. Not on their board, but yes, engaging with them.
So maybe tell us a bit about that. Tell us what roles you played and how you brought that perspective into the brokerage itself.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to have my colleagues and other members believe in me to elect me as president of my local board, which is in London St. Thomas, the London St. Thomas Association of Realtors. So I was president of that association, moved up to the provincial level, the Ontario Real Estate Association. I was president of OREA in 2014, 2015, and then up to the national level at the Canadian Real Estate Association at CREA in 2020, 2021. I was known as either the COVID chair or the pandemic president, because that was my year. I didn't go anywhere. I was in there and I was engaging people, which is great because, to be quite honest with you, nobody had anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So they were tuning in and zooming in on what the president of CREA had to say. So I actually got great buy-in.
People were stuck to their devices.
That's
and
right.
then
So
you're
there's
on
nothing
there.
else to do. Might as well listen to the Greek guy.
Yeah.
But so you know what? With that, I got to be part of the regulatory process when OREA lost the education, like all the conversations there. But back to your question, how has that helped or enhanced my career? I'm going to say one of it is it's kept me fresh, because even case in point, I'm at the OREA conference. I get to see my colleagues. I get to see the leaders, not only the leaders that I knew and I know pretty well, most of the CEOs and EOs across all the MLS boards in Canada, but the young leaders, the ones coming up and engaging and interacting with them and getting to meet them. It's keeping me fresh. It's keeping me plugged in. It's keeping me up to date. And so I'm always up to date on regulations, on new regulations. And I just had I don't want to digress into another conversation here, but we just had a RICO audit, a full audit. And we had one infraction. And it was such a minor infraction that the auditor actually sent an email. I have the email. I sent it up to the real service team, and they said, "I can't believe you had such a great audit." It was that, inadvertently, one of our agents deposited funds into one account as opposed to another account. And so we fixed it right away, same day. And the infraction was, "Hey, you fixed it right away, but you need to notify us when you do that." Which was, for a full audit.
Yeah, pretty good.
It was like, are you kidding me? This is fantastic. I think she had prefaced to say, like, I have to give you something here. So, so we were really lucky. So where has it helped? It's helped us to first of all, to be up to date, and so is our leadership team. And that trickles into more so than that, it gives confidence to our agents. It allows our agents to know that, I'm with a brokerage that gets where we need to go.
Yeah.
And we always say, look, our job is not only to protect the brokerage, but to protect you as a practitioner. That's our role. That's our management role, is we want to make sure that you're bulletproof, that we're putting these things in place to make you bulletproof, that not only you're compliant, that you never have to worry about this. Go out and talk to your clients. And so we pride ourselves on that. And I think that it's not about just keeping that for ourselves. We want to share that with everybody. In the real service family, whatever we can share and collaborate and say, hey, here's where you need to be careful of this, and let's talk about this, and this is how you make it right. And I mean, hopefully that'll be the next step, so that everybody in the ecosystem of real service knows that, hey, we're stepping on solid ground here.
Yeah.
And I can reach out to Costa at any time and run this by him. And if I don't have the answer, I'm not going to fake it. I'll get the answer.
Right.
Because I know who to talk to get the answers right away.
Yeah.
So that gives a big boost of confidence for our agents. They're working in a brokerage where they know that they're going to be sound and protected.
100%. And even, I mean, just the network that you would have over your career, I feel like there's nothing you couldn't figure out with a phone call, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know what, Alex, you're so right. And again, I don't profess to know all the answers. There's a thing, don't be the source, but be the source of the source. Sure. So I may not be the source of the answer, you're going to get it from me, but I'm going to be the source that goes to the source to get you the answer. Yeah. And that's where you can feel confident that if we say something from a management perspective, you can bank on it.
Right.
And that's confidence to know, like when you're dealing with another realtor on the other side. Yeah. And we tell our agents, look, I know that this is right. Sometimes we have to educate the other broker of records. They don't get it. But be diplomatic about it. And always, it's a funny thing, just say that my broker of record and my managing broker and our office manager are real sticklers about this, and you can feel free to call Costa or call Bobby or whatever, any one of us in the management team, and take it up with them. And I have to tell you, I'm going to say 99 times out of 100, they'll say, oh no, did they? Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, you got to do it this way. Because we know we're not just making up stuff.
Right.
And so it diffuses the situation. We've educated a lot of other brokers and brokerages, and I'm not coming from we're better than. It's a matter of, hey, let's raise the bar for all of us.
100%.
If I can teach one broker or not teach is a bad word, share
Yeah.
with another brokerage about, hey, how do you do this to be compliant and got to make sure you do this to protect your brokerage, that just makes us better as a profession.
Yeah.
And ultimately to give a little more confidence with consumers. Because all you need is one bad apple to erode the confidence and the professionalism.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's a lot of, there can be, ego in the business as well, that, one has to navigate through when trading, I'm sure when managing, when leading folks, when doing deals with folks. So how do you, I'm going to double click on that. Like, how do you make sure that you're coming from a place of humility, and navigating these conversations specifically with some, with folks with higher than average egos?
That's a human aspect. It doesn't matter if you're selling pencils, houses, cars, or, whatever services. They're always going to have a personality where, and so you have to address that. It's a great question. And you come from humility with a mindset of, I'm always going to learn. I want to know where you come from. Maybe either you're having a bad day or whatever it is, and this is your 5 minutes of power, so you're going to take it out on me. And even though you're wrong, I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And if it's in front of clients, I'm going to say, you know what, that's interesting, Alex. Why don't can I just talk to you about it first? Just to make sure we're on the same page here. And if it's not in person, it's a phone call and saying, look, I think you might be wrong. And the only reason I'm concerned about, I know you're working for your seller, I'm working for my buyer, but we got to fix this so our clients don't come back that we've done something offside and then we have a legal issue.
Yeah.
You should check with and sometimes it's brokers of record,
right,
that I have to have these conversations with. I said, I'm not trying to be, I understand what you're saying, but here's what I've learned in my position. And I have to tell you, that diffuses a lot of things. It's not that I know more. It's like, you could check with the regulator. You can check with your MLS rules and regs.
Don't take it from me.
I said, but here's the source. But I'm telling you, this is what's happened. And I'm going to say 99 times out of 100, I have the little clip or the article or the bylaw rule number, and I'll just say, here it is. And just so you know, and this is how I would do it. Let me know your thoughts. So I'm coming from a place of collaborating. I'm never putting you down that you didn't know it. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying this is what's happened since TRESA came out, since the MLS rules and regs came out, since the amalgamation of these boards, now they're under this MLS rule. And so it's an opportunity to sort of, with humility, say, look, I know I work for my buyer. If we don't put this deal together, first of all, we're not working for anybody tonight. More so, we want to make sure if we do put this deal together that we're bulletproof, that we're good. And so I see what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Here's what I would think. Here's the article or the, under section 4, because I'm very savvy with that part. And that's a blessing. It's got a photographic memory all these years. And so it does diffuse it. People actually will say, thank you for bringing that to my attention. All these years I've been doing it wrong. I will never put somebody in an awkward position. You know what? It's that thing. If you put somebody in a corner, they're either going to die or they're going to come through you. Yeah. They're going to fight you. So don't ever put somebody in a corner. Give them an out. Give them a couple of outs and make it easy for them.
And starting with empathy, I think that was a really interesting point there as well. There's a book on negotiation by Chris Voss called Never Split the Difference. He was like a hostage negotiator, and he would start with empathy with a lot of these folks as well, because it's disarming.
Yeah.
And if you start from a place of understanding, oftentimes if somebody's yelling, they're not, they just want to be heard a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So if you start from a place of, I understand you, I hear you.
Well, you're having a bad day for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned with this profession to be the king of conflict resolution. I had a lady calling at me and saying, hey, your agent did this. And I said, I'm sorry, what's your name, ma'am? May I call you Cindy? Yeah. Your agent did this. I said, Cindy, I don't know why you're yelling at me. If you got to know me, you'd probably think I'm such a great guy. You're not even giving me an opportunity. And she laughed.
Yeah.
And so you diffuse it and say, look, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. People just want to be heard.
Yeah. 100%.
And they want to be valued. And that goes for other brokers. That goes for consumers. That goes for agents. So when you ask, how did we get successful? If you give the regulatory part of it, that's helped me to give confidence to our agents. But we value our agents, the people that are with us. It's great to get more people in, but value the ones that have already entrusted your career. How do you feel if you've been with us 15 years and I'm throwing all sorts of freebies for the new people coming in and you're still paying what you paid and thinking like, man, how much do you value me?
Right.
So it's kind of a simple, common sense approach.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have in London, Ontario, let's call it a B-sized market.
Yeah.
It's not in the middle of downtown Toronto, but it's also not in the
secondary markets.
Secondary market, sure.
Yeah.
You were also part of a larger franchisor before. You had a franchise and now you're an independent with Street City. So you've kind of seen both sides and also been able to carve out a really good foothold, in a secondary market, which are usually dominated by franchisees. So how did you do that? What kind of lessons could you share that allowed you to like keep that moat, so to speak, and keep that chunk of the market for Street City?
I mean, that's a great question, Alex. And I'll be honest with you, when we first thought about opening the brokerage, the brokerage or the brand that we met with, because Mary and I, just some ideas around, like, can it be a Costa Mary Inc. brokerage? Do we need to have a franchise? I think we're in London, Ontario. And one thing about London, Ontario, it was a big brand name type of thing. It was the A&P's Metros, the Miracle Food Marts. It was always, there wasn't a lot of independent butchers or independent grocers. I mean, Londoners were more for a big, well-known brand corporate name. And so we thought about it thinking, okay, well, we know the regular players that are here, though, the big franchises, and let's pick a franchise that's not in London. And so, we actually found a franchise that wasn't in London. It was a US based franchise. And that's how we went from 2 to 120 in 18 months. And that went on from 2008 until 2016. But we realized after our first 5-year, relationship contractually with the franchise that a lot of agents didn't really care.
It's not about them.
It wasn't about them. And so we watered down the concept. We went 3 years and we changed some of the things that were more favorable for us, thinking like we're doing all the heavy lifting on our own here.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's nice to have a name, but you're not going to be giving you monthly fees every time for something that we didn't perceive value for. And so, and after 3 years, then we went, after 8 years, 5 plus 3, we went as an independent broker with Street City. And we dropped the franchise and we didn't lose one agent. On the contrary, we actually went up 35 agents.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is that this is not a poo-poo the franchises because they have their place. What we found from our experience is, and if you ask any agent to ask their client, and let's say you've done a great job for a client, and you say, hey, just curious, folks, do you know who I work for? They're going to say, I don't know. Is it this? Or, I really don't know, Alex, but you're great.
Yeah, right.
Because you're the brand.
Yeah.
Because they believe in you as a practitioner. And so that's a real factual truth. And again, it's not a poo-poo on franchises. They have their role, and they have I guess great marketing and but the reality is the brokerages are independently owned and operated.
Right. So
franchise A, let's call it franchise A, could have 4 operators and they could all be different. And so back to your question, we grew because we realized that the agents wanted support, presence in the market, community, charitable, giving back to the community. They want to be part of a brokerage like that. So my wife Mary had started a foundation called Kindness Above Everything, and every year we give back to and it's shelter based, homelessness, and 50,000. We get boots. We get, like, every year we build it on our own. We don't actually tap our agents for it. A lot of our agents have helped out, but it's not part and parcel of that. But it's good that they can attach their name with it and say, you know what, I work for Street City, and they're really giving back to the community.
Yeah.
So the things that matter to the agents were, are you going to give me support when I need it? Like 11 o'clock at night. And here's one promise to us. Doesn't matter if we're a franchise or an independent. When you're interviewing 5 brokerages, 3 of them are franchises, you got another big one, and you come to us, we all have technology. We all have training sessions, formal training sessions. We all have things that every brokerage should have. And if they don't have it, don't talk to them, because if you don't have that stuff, the bare bone minimums, you need to move on. But one thing that differentiates us, and this was we look you right in the eyes, the one thing that differentiates us from every other brokerage, you'll never be alone in your real estate career. Now that's a big, bold statement to make, but I got to tell you, you're in front of clients, or you're dealing with somebody at 10:30 on a Sunday night, and you just need to know that there's a lifeline on the other end. And it's a text, a phone call, an email, and you say, and any one of the 3 of us will get back to you. Hey, Costa. Hey, Bobby. I'm doing this deal and I'm really stuck, and this guy's telling me this, and I think he's wrong. Can you help me out? That's what you need. That's the support you pay for. And if I can get you, or we can get you through the finish line on helping you out on this deal, that's more important than than any franchise or any perceived collective that's out there. And we have gone up head to head with other competitors on listing presentations, and our success rate is huge, only because our agents get trained how to do it.
Yep.
And it's not about the brand. It's about, again, the consumer.
Right.
The consumer, what's in it for them? Give me the why. Why should I list with you, Alex, at Street City?
Right.
When tell me what you're going to do. Cover my pain points, because I got to move in 30 days. I just lost my job.
Yep.
What are you going to do for me?
Yep.
They don't care who you're with. They want to know that you're going to be there for them. So that's the reality of how we've grown, is because we deliver more than what's expected.
So apart from the table stakes things that you need, that every brokerage needs, maybe a version of support, maybe it's technology, it's closing a deal on time, like table stakes. You've also listened to your agents and say, like, what do you want? This charity idea is awesome as well, and not super common.
It should be.
It should be,
because that's the for every successful real estate brokerage or realtor, you want to be in a community. It's got to be a full spectrum. I mean, it's quality of life. It's from the people that are on the street that have nowhere to live. Get them off the street, move them up, maybe into some affordable housing or some kind of place interim. Move them up. Those people are going to move up. They're going to free up the renter. The renter's going to buy the first-time house. I mean, it's a continuum, right? And if you can focus on helping people in your community, aside from making you feel like $1 million and actually helping them, it does give you a bounce in your step.
Of course, and like selfishly, if you're part of a community that is self-reinforcing with positivity and with support, I mean, who would want to be a part of that?
Yeah.
The other thing that you said that I thought was interesting was the brand that you have. Like, I'm coming, if I'm a prospective Street City agent and I end up making the move to Street Cities because of it's Costa and Mary. So it's the fact that when you said you're never going to be alone in real estate, it can be a lonely business. Like there's a lot of sole practitioners, sole operators out there that, are just like, cowboys by themselves, roaming the plains. And oftentimes, at least when I first started practicing as well, it felt like that.
Yeah.
I've been an agent myself for 9 years.
Yeah.
And for me to have somebody to call at any point, even 9 years later, it still happens, right? Like
38 years later, I still call people that somebody throws a curve at me, and I'll pick up the phone and say, hey, I had an agent ask me this. I want to make sure I get the right information. You learn every day. The day you think you know it all is the day you need to get out of the business. Yeah. Because you're learning every day. Right. But you brought up a really good point. So 2 good points you brought up. Number one is that there's the lifeline. I want to go back to the technology. You should all have that staple, that thing. Philosophically, I can't tell you enough, and I'm not just saying this, is not just BSing anybody here. The fact that we've aligned ourselves now with the real service ecosystem, and now we have the tech that we need, the platforms that we need, that make it a lot easier for us at leadership to have these tools now and platforms to make our agents' job easier. They can focus more of their energy of doing what they do best. Talk to buyers, talk to sellers, get out there and do more deals. We'll do the heavy lifting in the background. Yeah. With the alignment that we have now, especially now with real service, big difference. It's just opened a lot more doors for us, and it's allowed us to do things better, quicker, faster, compliant, all of these things. So it just enhances the experience. So again, now we can say with confidence to the Alexes coming in to join us or looking at making a switch, is we're going to do all the heavy lifting. Focus on what you do best. Let us do the heavy lifting. Yeah. Be confident in the compliance piece of it. Yeah. Sometimes you're going to forget something. We're going to correct it for you right away. You will be bulletproof. You don't have to worry about anything. Go and wake up every morning and say to yourself, now, how am I going to make a sale or get a listing? Yeah. How am I going to meet a new person in my life? That's your job. Go and meet new people.
Do what you do best.
Build rapport. They'll become your clients. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
Get to shaking hands and kissing babies. Right?
That's exactly it. It's all culture. Yeah. You know what? You can't talk about a culture. You either live it or you don't.
It's part of what we try to do here at myAbode.
I can see that when I came in here.
Right. Yeah. And like we offer brokerages the opportunity to do that. Yeah. It's a lot of the time it's salespeople that have developed these brokerages. And what do salespeople do best? Get out there, shake some hands. Yeah. And we take that back and
connect with people.
We'll do the administrative boring stuff. Let you connect with people. And then over time as well, we'll layer on some things that'll actually.
That's what I'm trying to say is that now we've partnered, we've aligned ourselves with what you do here. It's just freed up all sorts of time for us now, for our agents to, because now we can say, look, and it's freed up time for us at the local branch level, at the brokerage level, because we have a big partner. I mean, I saw your offices. It's a great operation. Everybody's working in here to make it easier for all of us.
Yeah.
So, and this is my first time being here, so kudos to you guys.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to have you back here for more parties.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, maybe tell me a little bit more about some challenges, some headwinds. I know this industry and this market, like realtors are doing 50% of what they were in 2021. Now, 2021 was crazy times, but there's headwinds that folks are feeling right now. Brokers of record and broker owners as well. So maybe tell me a little bit about when you had some headwinds. How did you navigate them? Did you use them to your advantage? How did you survive and how did you thrive afterwards?
I mean, that's such a great question. It's a loaded question because there's so much to peel back and drill down on. There's just a lot to unpack there. But I mean, I can share, because look, everybody has hard times. Everybody has challenges. Everybody's going to go through some tough times in life, not just in the real estate market, but in life in general. And it's how you stand up after that. And so I mean, I share a story with you. It's a moment in time where, you know, I had just gone through a divorce or a separation, 2 little girls, 1 and 4, babies and diapers, and you know, I had to move back into my parents' house. It was really a tough time at, you know, and trying to navigate that and emotionally not being in the right place. And what brought me out of it is, first of all, mindset. I mean, I would make my goals. You know what? When you write out goals and where you want to go, first of all, you can't change what you don't measure. So it's important that you actually write things down. And so I would write, and believe it or not, I was living at my parents'. I was at the time 24 years old, and you know, fairly new in the business, 3-4 years in the business and the profession, and not a lot to look up to. I was just in a not a good spot, and so I would write these things down, and I would make a list and do affirmations, and believe it or not, I would say, and I would write. I still have it to this day. I still have that same sheet that I would write down. You know, be enthusiastic, be positive, and here's my goal. I want to have one of the most successful brokerages in London. I want to be one of the top individuals in our profession. And this is at a time when things were not very good.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I focused, if there's a secret to success on that, it's you got to get in the right mindset. You got to put things down, as bad and bleak as they are. I mean, this is the overarching.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a high level. I'm talking from my personal experience. I mean, I did end up getting one of the top brokerages in London successfully. And, you know, I became president of my board, OREA and CREA. You can't go anywhere, and a director for the National Association of Realtors in the US. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And this is a time when I was living back at home at 24 years old, thinking, oh my God, my life is a mess. Now, that mindset, which is really hard to do, you got to lift yourself up and listen to positive books and positive. It was Tony Robbins at the time and things like that. You know, I'm not give Tony a plug, but I'm telling you that it was like whatever I can get, and just, it's what you put in is what you're going to get out. So anyway, that helped me to overcome it. But back to now, let's fast forward to good markets or bad. Good markets or bad, and I've been through, I think, 5 or 6 recessions in my career, 38 years. And one thing that I've noticed is margins for brokerages are shrinking. Let's be honest. I mean, it's just not like it used to be. Back when I started, you know what? It was 50-50. The brokerage would give you the lead. You're going to pay them 50%, and that was it. But the margins have shrunk. And in Canada, at least in the States, they have maybe some other revenue streams with their title insurance and things like that they can get in there and title people. And we don't have those levers to pull on getting a lot of extra revenue streams in here. So as competitive as the brokerage world has come, it's probably one of the best professions to still be in. And yes, it's tough. And yes, just because it's tough doesn't mean, maybe you just have to recalibrate. Maybe you look at doing shared resources by aligning yourself, and I'm going to speak for myself, with a company that gets you, that does all the heavy lifting so that you can focus on other stuff. There's just so many avenues and so many doors. And I'm not here to plug Real Service, to be quite honest with you, although it's worked for us. It's something like a Real Service in that ecosystem, or myAbode, sorry, where you can actually rely on them to do things that you can't do.
Right.
Or if you're fearful of compliance matters, pick up the phone and call a Costa in a world of many other Costas to say, okay, now I've got the answer that I need. So how do you get out of those challenges? Is you align yourself with people that have the ability and have the answers that you need. And look, my philosophy is I'd rather make 50% of something than 100% of nothing.
Right.
And if that means I have to share some, at least I have something to share. And profit's not a dirty word.
Right.
And if I can make 10% bottom line as opposed to negative 20, I'll take the 10%. And I'm just giving certain examples like that, but that's how you overcome it. It's a mindset. Align yourself with people that are successful, that have a vision, that are culturally aligned with you. Case in point, what we've done. I mean, it's simple. And there are a lot of people or brokerages or operations or organizations that are aligned like this, that put people first, that actually make a difference, that are leaders in the profession.
And I love what you said about if you can't change it if you don't measure it.
Yeah. Like if you don't measure something, how are you going to change it? Look, I want to lose 15 pounds. Well, how much do I weigh now?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's an interesting point, especially in a market like this, where even if we drill down to the agent front, right? Like if you're consulting with an agent says, Costa, I'm not doing any business. Like, where's all the business? And it's like, okay, what activities are you doing to generate that top funnel? Like, are you making 10 calls a week? Is it 50? Is it calls? Maybe it's dinners, right? Maybe it's holiday cards. Like whatever the activity is for top of funnel, you got to be able to measure it.
You're exactly right. And in order to get that, you have to engage with your members,
100%.
with your agents. And so, it used to be where you, back in the day, and probably before your time too, is, because I know you're in the business and, maybe 9 years, but there used to be a time where I'd call your broker would call a meeting and you'd have to show up.
Right.
And if you didn't show up, you were gone because there's people waiting for your desk.
Right.
Well, those times have changed. That was like archaic, right? So now it's a matter of people don't come in. You're going to call a Zoom meeting and you're going to give them this great training, but they're not going to come because they're down in the dumps. They were like I was at 24 years old, living with my mom and 2 little kids or whatever the case may be. They're not there yet. So what we found is, how people say, communicate with people the way they want to be communicated. If you're sending out a mass email to 200 of my agents and only 80% are open, the 80% rate is open, but they're just opening and deleting it and they're not reading it, then it's a useless way. So find out how is it that they want to communicate. So what we've done is, look, in a time where a soft market like this, you're conducting an open house, I'll take the time to come by your open house.
Yeah.
I'll say, Alex, I haven't seen you in the office. I haven't seen you on Zoom calls. We haven't done it. Hey, listen, I'm not here to beat on you. How's your open house going?
Yeah.
And then I'll have that opportunity to say exactly what you just said. So how are you finding things? Oh, God, nobody's been in here. I haven't done anything. I haven't had a showing on this house in 90 days. It's pretty bad out there. My job is to uplift you, to tell you, look, this is not the end of the world. What have you told the seller? You know what? Have you done your mail-outs? Have you knocked on the doors? When you did this open house, did you go out and make little cards and say, go to 40 houses, 20 across the street, 10 on this side, 10 on this side, knock on the doors, half an hour before you did your open house? Maybe that's what you should do. And say, hey, put a thing, you're invited. Hey, I'm just doing an open house across the street. I thought I'd invite you so you can pick your neighbor before I do.
Right. Yeah.
Something like that, right? Yeah. It's just to sort of, open the door. And if they're not there, leave it in their mailbox.
Yeah.
Right. And at least you've touched 40 doors.
And if they don't come to the open house,
that's fine.
They still might want to buy or sell.
Exactly.
themselves.
But those are the little things about, hey, let me give you some ideas from 38 years of experience. Have you done this? Have you called your sphere of influence? Not because you want your sphere of influence. Well, who's my sphere? I don't have one. Well, do you have a cell phone? Because who are your contacts? If they're in your contacts, they're at your sphere.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a text message to some of them. And it's the same message. Hey, Alex, I haven't talked to you in over 2 years. I made a point of this year in 2026. I'm going to contact everybody. I hope you're keeping well. Let me know. I'd love to connect with you in the new year.
Yep.
All the best for the holidays.
Yeah.
It's a touch point. So I'm going to have those conversations with you. And I'm going to go and I'm going to see 3 people at this open house or bring people into the office, or I'm going to, whatever the case may be. That's how you build such a great culture in a brokerage where somebody like you says, man, these people care about me. And it's not about the Costa and Mary show. It was initially, but now we've passed the baton on to our leadership team. Mm-hmm. So philosophically, we're all there about giving that support.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, so that you feel valued. It's like, man, the guy took time to come and find me and see how I'm doing because I haven't been around. That's how much the guy values me.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of one of the things.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, this is great. This is gonna be a great episode. I feel like we got a million sound bites. Is there anything, Costa, that you wanted to talk about, mention, ask me, or like anything at all that we could put in here before we do a wrap up?
No, I think you've done a great job, man. We've talked about a lot of stuff. I think.
Yeah, it's fun, man. This is one of the you know, sales guy who
Yeah.
easiest job in the world, just talking to people.
Yeah, it's really good. I like this. This is very comfortable. Very comfortable. No, I think culture is important. You've talked about culture. You know, it's talking about going and touching your client. Who are our clients? Our clients are our agents.
That's it.
And again, if we can show you that your life will be easier by being part of Street City, then here's my thing. I've always told, and Mary's lived it, I've lived it, our management team is living it. We're all living it. If you have an engagement with another human, that's it. You're going to wake up in the morning. I'm not thinking, because you don't want to wake up in the morning and go from who am I going to list with today? It just doesn't happen that way. You got to meet the people, build rapport, build the trust. It's a process. It's a process. And it has to be authentic and sincere.
Yes.
People today, they can sense authenticity and sincerity, and they can sense when you're not sincere and when you're bullshitting them and you're coming across as a canned person. So people pick up on that. We're more intuitive now than we've ever been in the history of mankind, I think.
Yeah.
And so you know, the whole point is, how do I engage somebody? If we have an interaction, if it's for 10 seconds or an hour on this podcast, if I can make that other person that I'm engaging with feel better on the way out than they did on the way in, I've done my job. And that means an hour podcast, or I tell my agents, you got to get gas in your car. You have to put gas in. Don't pay at the pump. Go inside the gas station. Why? Because somebody's going to be in there. They're going to try to sell you a lottery ticket or chiclets or whatever, candy bar or whatever they're going to sell you. And it's an easy conversation because they're selling. They're going, hi, how are you? You know what? Do you want to buy a lottery ticket? No. Do you want to buy a house? Right. And you make it that funny, right? And it's what? And I give my card. When I give to pay the card, I'll say, and here's my real estate card. And if you need any information on the market, because it's changing so fast, values, you can buy 2019 values today in 2025. Start with that. Yeah. You start with that, and it opens the conversation. I'm not bullshitting you, Alex, when I'm telling you this. I have picked up more clients from those kiosk guys. Yeah. They all know me. I mean, I'll go to Shell. I'm a points hound. I've got the air miles and the petrol cards and I got them all, right? And I'll go to all of these guys and I'll go inside and sometimes I'll bother you, but every one of them knows, oh, you're the real estate guy. Right. And it doesn't matter if they throw my card out when I give it to them. As soon as I leave, I have to look back. Sometimes they've just thrown it in the garbage. It doesn't matter, because when I go next time again, because I've engaged, nobody engages with them. Yeah. Yeah. And so my point is, that's how you get up there and you say, okay, how do I make this person's life a little bit better? If I can give a bounce on the way out, then I've done my job.
Put the effort in to be your genuine self.
That's it. Authenticity.
Yeah. Costa Poulopoulos, thank you so much for coming in. This is lots of fun.
Alex, real pleasure, man. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I've never done a video podcast, so this is my first. Thank you.
First of many.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.